Yeah, my name's Emma Brands and I'm married to Neil. To you. And we've been married for 8 years in 3 weeks' time. Right, before we came to PhysioFunction, Neil had some physio via the NHS as part of the recovery from the stroke, but we were not satisfied. It was very hit and miss, not very much hands-on, and new exercises to help you progress. And then Neil started to do some work originally with PhysioFunction because they used to do some work at the day centre that Neil goes to. And it was Kirsten that you worked with then, wasn't it? And Kirsten identified that Neil could really had a lot of potential to improve with more physio. So at that point we then decided to start with PhysioFunction. And it was an intense start. And I remember Kirsten ringing me up just after we'd started to say that Neil had really worked hard, and she was surprised because Neil was saying how much better it was, and she was only at the assessment stage, so it just goes to show how little he was getting previously.
And did you enjoy those physio sessions with Kirsten? Did they feel different?
They were better, yeah, and hard work. No excuses, which is great.
Kirsten was a taskmaster.
Neil very much needs that, so there's no excuse giving up. Yeah, so one of the goals that we set was to help with the physio and your core balance, to be fair, Neil. I think thinking back, you couldn't sit as well as you can now, and some of the basic core strength there, but your ultimate aim has been that you wanted to walk. Yeah.
And is it right in saying that when you first came to PhysioFunction, you struggled to talk as well because of that core balance?
Yeah, so one of the first things that did happen with the physio is by sort of improving the posture in your sitting position. That's helped support Neil's airflow in terms of speaking as well, and they've supported in terms of the physio related to your lung capacity as well, as the physical of walking around. You've had, so with PhysioFunctions, the activities you've had is work with using the stim on your legs to help with movement, and the operation you had. They introduced Neil had an operation on his Achilles tendons that had been picked up by PhysioFunction to help with Neil's feet positioning on the floor, which has made a massive difference in terms of stabilising and when you're standing in your rotor stand and so forth, isn't it? You've had some intense physio, which has really helped, and you've been part of some of the training. You've been a bit of a guinea pig, and that's where you first had a go at walking in pulpit frame, which is quite a tall frame to help with your walking. I think one of the most amazing things we saw from my point of view was Neil standing up, and it was 6 physios all holding Neil up, but they were determined that they were going to make sure he could stand up, and that was quite an achievement at that point, wasn't it? It was pretty early on as well. That's right.
How many physios does it take you to stand now?
One.
One.
Yeah. So mainly with the standing to get to standing position, but you can hold your position on your own now. Once you're up.
Once you're up.
Yeah, so Physio Function have, what's been different, as Neil said, is they have tried different approaches. So if thing hasn't worked, it's not a case of, well, that's it, end of it. It's looking at alternative approaches to move things forward. And it's been very personalised as well. So, for example, last year was the first time we were able to go away together, and Kirsten was able to help myself with some of the manoeuvres to help being able to transfer Neil. So and Neil and herself had worked really hard to get some of the moves organised, so it was easier for me to help Neil whilst we were away. So it's about a very personalised approach, but the key thing is not giving up. And it's not an excuse of, oh, well, that's the best you're going to be. They're always striving to move things forward and try new things. So we've been very lucky in terms of being access to things that are not available on the NHS, and things like the hydrotherapy, as well as something that is not readily available, but has now been able to complement Neil's physio. We've also been, when we've been to see the consultant as well, we have had detailed reports from Physio Function which really clearly show that Kirsten and the team understand Neil's needs and what he does need. And we've also been in a situation where we had a conference call with John and our Mr. Badwan, our consultant, in the room, which is quite unusual, which was great.
And does that help progress?
Very much so, yeah.
Back within the NHS.
That's right, and particularly from our consultant's point of view, he's very much informed with where Neil is and in terms of his abilities, and then obviously if there's any need for change with medication, then it's all linked up, so it's allowing that triangulation to happen.
And have you surprised people with your progression?
Yeah. Particularly, what we have to bear in mind in terms of Neil's progression, when Neil had his stroke originally, the prognosis was Neil was going to open and close his eyes. That was it. And that's what he would be able to do. So in the early days, to feel that where he's achieved now is quite incredible. And it is down to Physio Function, but it's also down to Neil's hard work too and determination. But they are, by the team are so passionate, they actually help support that as well.
And your hard work too. Yeah. So I was going to say, how has life changed since working with Physio Function? You just said you managed to have your first holiday in 7 years.
That's right, yeah, quite incredible, wasn't it? And we were both a bit nervous about doing it, but it was well worth it when we did it, yeah. So with the help of Kirsten showing me how to make sure that we could help Neil transfer and things, we were able to manage ourselves, weren't we, really? And that was so nice to have that personal time together, because we're very lucky that we've got a great carers who work with us, but it's a different lifestyle to what we ever expected, because it's about being a couple, and that really enabled us to be a couple for a couple of days. So that was really nice.
And that's a really important goal, isn't it?
Yeah, very much so, very much so. And everybody's very proud of what Neil achieves, because Neil, when he comes to physio, actually videos himself. So I work, so I don't always see it. So I get kept in the loop, but also family and friends can actually see what Neil's achieving as well from a walking point of view in the gym and everything, which really gives him a lot of incentive, and it's amazing how he's progressed. Yeah, so they will. I think we would definitely recommend Physio Function, because they've really made a difference to us. But it's about, like Neil says, about them trying their best, and actually the core of it all is that they actually care and they want to make a difference, and that comes through with the way they challenge Neil and the support that they've offered, and also access to other sources as well, sharing places we can go to. So they've been a big support for us both. But for Neil, it's been the level of improvement is incredible, and the fact that it's personalised and consistent is a key thing. I just think that they're an incredible team, as I've just said, really, and has made a massive difference to Neil's life in terms of what he's achieved, because I honestly don't think he would have achieved as much or be in this position if he'd have been left to his own devices. They've been amazing, so we're really impressed.